Right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, creepy friends. Welcome to Slams and Bobs. We're going to change up the pace and do something a little bit different today. Something I have never ever done before. We are going to talk about The Walking Dead. I'm not known for doing this on SAP, mainly just because I've never done it. I think I vaguely considered doing this season and then kind of decided against it. I think there's so many people that do review per episode, and the thing is, when you live in the UK like myself, you also get it like 24 hours later than America do. So by that point, there's several people that have already reviewed it, and it's like, do I really need to do it? Probably not. On top of that, having personally not read the comics, I never felt like it was my place to weigh in on anything. I'm a fan of the show. I've read part of one graphic novel, Tell a Lie, and I have seen them in hardback collections. Family member had them and I was like gazing at them going, ha! Because of the way the finale ended, it seemed like too good an opportunity to miss, not to maybe welcome in some new creepy friends and absolutely wholeheartedly discuss what went on, because to a point we've been a bit misled, maybe we've been lied to, but that end moment was everything, and it's got everybody talking, and it's also been quite controversial. The end has divided a lot of people. For months and months, the cast have built us up to, oh my god, I felt sick before going into work that day, I didn't want to go and film. Yet, I think because of that, we're all expecting this big bloodbath. In the finale, we knew a death was coming, we knew someone had to go meet Lucille by the hand of Negan, and yes, it's meant to be Glenn, we will get to Glenn. All we see is Negan attacking someone, and we don't know who it was. Maybe the sickness everybody was talking about, particularly I think I heard the most of that from Andy Lincoln and Lauren Cohen, was that it was so intense. I mean, when the whistling started and they were running through the trees, I was thinking to myself, this is not going to end, and they just played right into the hands of the saviours. There they were, all standing there holding poor old Maggie on this bed going, oh hell. The minute they were all on their knees, it was so intense. Like, I remember I was sat there for 10 minutes like this. Like, that was, I did not move my hands. I think I moved once and checked the minutes because I was thinking, when is this death coming? So from that aspect of it, it's quite mentally disturbing. Negan is a disturbing guy. He's renowned for being the most despicable, despised villain in the whole of The Walking Dead, and we've got him now, and I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays him a treat, having only met him in that one episode. I hate him, but I love him, and I think he's just got him so on point. The whole episode was basically building to and was all about Negan, and maybe that, to criticise that, I think I'm trying to look at it with the fan's eye, but also trying to look at it with this gentle criticism, is that maybe you made it too much about him and not focused on the show. I don't know. I personally loved the intensity of that moment and just the fact that everybody's just hanging on the edge waiting. The main problem we have, though, we don't know! Who dies? You can't just leave us like that for 6 months. That's just mean. Leave us like it for 2 months from like November to February. Yeah, you can get away with that. But like, seriously, you're going to leave us from April to October? That's such a long time. That's just not fair. That's really not fair. It's just mean. Why? Why would you do it? We would watch series 7 anyway. You didn't have to do that to us. I think that's what caused the most anarchy, really, is that they left us hanging there that long. It's just cruel. It's cruelty to fans. So who is in the firing line for the possible death? There's 2 people I can rule out straight away. That would be Rick and Carl. Negan has no intention of killing Rick, and Negan also threatens Carl to Rick, so it's neither of them. 100% wash those out of the water straight away. I think I've got a comprehensive list of who is in that scene, and if I've missed anyone, put it down here, because I'm fairly sure I was sitting there writing a whole bunch of notes about what I wanted to say, because I did not want to come into this with nothing planned, because there was so much buzzing around my head. Literally, I wrote this at work last night, which is a testament to how much I have to do in my day-to-day job. But there's so much in my head that I was like, I can't just leave this. From what I remember, in our firing line is, we've ruled them out, but Rick and Carl, Daryl, Glenn, Maggie, Abraham, Sasha, Eugene, Michonne, Rosita, and Aaron. If I've forgotten anyone, tell me. Now, we're going to rule out all the women, because apparently Negan doesn't kill women. So Michonne, Maggie, Rosita, Sasha, all 4 of them completely safe. So we've got 6 people that are safe, which leaves us with Glenn, Daryl, Abraham, Eugene, and Aaron. Eugene has a lot more to do, but he's also one of them characters that we're connected to, but we kind of meh about. Aaron has been very underutilized this season, I think, and I feel he should have done more, and they haven't really used him. I don't know if he's got some majors coming up, but he's kind of been majorly introduced in Series 5 and then kind of forgotten about in Series 6. Where they're taking Aaron yet, bearing in mind I have not read much more than his bio on the Walking Dead wiki, I don't know where he's going. So our top 3 that everyone's been throwing out there are Daryl, Glenn, Abe. Now, the character that dies is said to be beloved, and there's no one more beloved than the Series 1 character. But Abe has also been really taken in by people recently. I think mostly in this series we've seen a major change in certainly Father Gabriel, who isn't in this scene, and Eugene. They've both come into their own, they've both completely changed as characters, and we've really welcomed them in a completely different way. Eugene's become a lot stronger, and he's not kind of that fearful, weirdly mulleted man that we met a couple of seasons back. It does heighten the idea of Daryl or Glenn. So getting into Glenn, we're going to say one thing straight away. The comic plays out one way. That doesn't mean that the TV series is going to play out exactly the same way. We've seen major changes made from Series 1, you know, Carol shouldn't be alive. Daryl doesn't exist. Abraham should already be dead, apparently. Herschel didn't get beheaded. Sophia should still be with us. Enid isn't real. Beth wasn't real. Shouldn't Judith be dead as well? Didn't she die in the prison and get... All of this, all these changes are okay with Rob Kirkman. Fine with me. Should be fine with all of you too. He made it. If he's alright with the changes, let it lie. But it does also bring us to number 1 suspected victim, which is Glenn. Glenn dies at the hands of Negan in the comics, by the hands of Lucille, should I say, by the bat of Lucille. I don't know which one that is. Do say. His death is quite synonymous, is infamous. It's probably one of the most brutal deaths I feel that we've seen up to now, probably behind the beheading of Herschel, which wasn't Herschel. Glenn's death has been gloriously teased all season. The dumpster, the photos when they went to kill the saviors, the innocence that I feel that him and Maggie have had all season, that shower scene in the penultimate episode, I just thought that was such a beautiful little scene. I know obviously it's nakedness and cute, but I just thought the 2 of them just having that sweet little intimacy, it was so nice. And just a very, I've got a hair in my eye, a very sweet moment between them, but it could also be that final kind of bit of them being together, and that has crossed my mind. The dumpster scene was a major thing. The mere hinting of Glenn being killed off just set absolute anarchy throughout the fields of people. I mean, I was one of them people. My line throughout the whole kind of 4-week period waiting to find out that Glenn was alive, which we knew, was if Glenn dies, we riot. And I'm still holding to that. If Glenn is dead at the start of Series 7, I'm rioting. I'm tearing this room apart. Is it worth their lives to kill Glenn? Which leads us to the thing that's been mostly speculated, and the thing that really broke my heart and made me actually want to do this is the slowed down audio, which supposedly, I mean, I'm going to link in the audio in the box down here, not only the slowed down audio link, but also the original scene link, so that you can listen to one and then listen to the other and understand what I'm about to kind of explain. So in the slowed down audio, supposedly we hear Negan swing Lucille, Maggie scream Glenn, Glenn then say Mag, and then more screaming. Carl screams, Abe screams, Maggie screams Glenn a lot. So supposedly the hint is that this is Glenn's death scene. It's leading everybody to believe that. This is where I'm going to play devil's advocate and also try and save Glenn's skin, because I don't want Glenn to go. And that's from a personal standpoint. Steve Yeun has been a source of inspiration for me for a complete other reason in recent months, in the recent year actually. So from a personal standpoint, I need him around, but that's just me. That is my own selfish reason. When Negan swings Lucille the first time, we hear the scream that's supposedly Maggie saying Glenn. And then we have Glenn come and go, Mag. Now, listen back to the original, because Negan actually, before he says taking it like a champ, says look at that. So you could be misinterpreting that with Mag. When you slow that down, that, Mag, very same sounding words. So we could just be misinterpreting that. I mean, a lot of you are. I'm not. I mean, when I listened to that slowed down audio, my heart just like fell apart. I'm not going to deny that. And if I find if I find out Glenn has died, I'm going to go into a serious bout of mourning right now. I do not want that guy to go. Also, supposedly the cast do not have a clue who dies. Now, if this is true, why would Lauren Cohen have been told to shout Glenn? She wouldn't have, because she wouldn't have known who was dying. So here's a couple of theories to throw out there for you guys. Have they just tricked us? Have they expected that you would think to slow down the audio and listen to it back, therefore thrown that out as a red herring? They don't know who died. If they do, I don't believe that, personally. Could the cast be lying? More than likely. Let's face it, it's not the first time they've duped us and then gone, The main thing I'm going to encourage you guys to do with the slowed audio is to just keep listening to it and watch the original scene back, and you'll hear what I'm saying with that and Mag. If, you know, alright, yes, we know it's meant to be Glenn, but I just think it's so obvious and so expected that, and you know, they've hinted it all season. Why hint it and then just kill him off? I mean, alright, getting us ready, yeah, maybe, but it's so expected because it's such an infamous death that why would they go to all the trouble of hint, death? I don't think that's something they do. Maybe I'm in the hugest bout of denial right now. It also leads me to victim number 2, which is Daryl. Now, Daryl is what I call an anomaly character. He doesn't exist. He wasn't in the original. He was made purely for the TV series. And God, we love Norman Reedus. Do we not love us a bit of Norman Reedus? Did you see him getting all cute on The Talking Dead as well? That was so adorable. He got all embarrassed. Now, supposedly Norman Reedus is getting a lot of offers and projects, and he's obviously having to turn a lot down because of it's like a 6-month shoot on The Walking Dead. It's very long. I mean, they normally do, what, May to November, I think it is. And supposedly he wants out. The rumours circulating that I and a friend have heard that he wants out. So maybe he dies. He's already been shot, but also he wants to kill... it would not be expected for Daryl to die. At all. We don't want Daryl to go. I mean, out of the people that I would want to go, Daryl and Glenn are not involved in that. I don't want them going anywhere. I want them to live till the bloody bitter end, you know? If Norman Reedus really wants to branch out and do other stuff, then to a point, maybe The Walking Dead is just holding the guy back. If Norman Reedus does want to go and pursue other things, then I can accept it, but I can't accept Daryl dying. Like, no way, no how. And I'm also going to say it's very similar to Glenn. If the producers and the creators, the makers want their lives, they don't want to kill Daryl off, because seriously, that will create worldwide anarchy, okay? Like, serious amounts of anarchy. Glenn causes riots, Daryl would cause anarchy. They're on, like, the same level with Daryl just being slightly heightened. Nobody wants him to go. If Norman Reedus, if that is his last bit, then it's a cool way to go. I'm worried that it's going to make a lot of you resent Glenn if he stays. Which also leads us on to number 3, which is Abe. Now, Abe's death apparently has passed. His supposed death has been and gone, and Abe has kind of regressed in his character. He's gone, and a friend of mine said it, he's gone from being this army guy to suddenly being a little lovesick puppy for Sasha, and maybe I don't know where they're taking Abe anymore. I'm kind of a bit confused. Abe wouldn't be expected, but at the same time, if Abe died, we'd be sad, but I wouldn't miss him the way I miss Glenn or Daryl. Abe's name is being majorly thrown out there right now because his death scene has passed. It's not as infamous a death scene as Glenn, or as infamous a moment as Carl getting shot in the eye, and I'm glad they left that in. I was so glad in the mid-season premiere that they left that scene in. It was like, yeah! I'm going to throw out one other thing out there as well. Consider that Negan may not have killed any of our group. What if he just picked on one of his saviours and killed him just to make an example? That flowed through my mind as well. It's a possibility, and that they're all just screaming out the pure horror of seeing someone have the head caved in by a barbed wire. Did he nick that off Mick Foley? Maybe. It is just going to be a hell of a long 6 months right now, I think. I mean, it's just going to be painful. I mean, it's so mean. I can't get over how blooming mean it is, like, really. Next month, I think it's next month, June, Series 7 will start shooting. So the Spoiling Dead fans, and thank you for finally unlocking the Spoiling Dead fans on Facebook. AMC, sort your lives out with that, guys, seriously. Why did you block them? They don't share anything that other places don't share. I mean, just because Russia and other places like share stuff when they shouldn't, don't blame the Spoiling Dead fans for then sharing what they've shared. It's nothing to do with them. Lovely fans that see shooting going on in Atlanta will normally share with Spoiling Dead any photos that they manage to take. So that'll be your first look in at who may or may not be alive. Because, I mean, do you remember them trying to hide Glenn between the points of us seeing the dumpster scene and then them shooting more scenes? I think mainly what they were shooting between that was probably the when they're going to the Savior's camp and shoot them, and kill them rather, and then the actual end finale. That was where Glenn actually goes out of Alexandria. And they tried so badly to hide him. I mean, it's going through my head as well that just maybe they might put every member of the cast on set just to kind of throw us a little bit. So we may not know from that aspect. They may just bring everybody back in and just place them on set so we don't know, because they will obviously anticipate that the Spoiling Dead fans will obtain photos. There's nothing wrong with them tailing photos. Everyone's going to share them. So that may or may not be our first little link to what may or may not be the character's death. If someone's not seen on set, we could take that as a green light of death. But if someone is seen on set, we're going to take that as a green light that they're on and that they're still alive. But obviously, we don't know. Steve Yeun has said it himself, just because the comic plays out one way doesn't mean the TV series are going to play out another. And I have to put emphasis on that. They could just be throwing that out there to you just to completely throw you off. And don't think that they won't do that. I have now run out of points to make. I think I've said just about everything I planned. I don't want Glenn to go. From my own creative standpoint, I need Steve Yeun around. So I hope he's not dead, but I know it's such an infamous moment in the comic that it could well happen. Please weigh in on this with me. I want to hear exactly what you Walking Dead fans and Spoiling Dead fans are saying. I want to know, because I'm such a huge fan of this show. I love this show, and it is just going to be a long wait until October now. I do not want to be counting down the days of summer waiting for October, because that's what I think I'm going to be doing now, and that is mean, because I hate the cold and I do not want to wait and just count down the days to October waiting for the cold to come back, because I love the summer and you're now ruining my summer, guys. So I hate you guys for that. Thank you very much for watching this super long video. I'm going to run out of video in a minute, so I've got to go. If you would like to comment, and I want you guys to comment so much, please do. If you'd like to share and subscribe to the channel, everything's down here. I have Instagram or Twitter for Slams8Bobs. They're also down here. If I've forgotten anything, if there's anything you want to add, comments box, do tell me. I will see everyone again. Maybe I will cover the premiere when we find out who dies. Maybe I'll just hold like a little funeral. I will see everybody again. Bye, everyone.